Blue as Master 91, and today I thought I would do a Dino deck profile, so let's dive right on in. So in my dinosaur build, I have 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor. He is by far the most powerful and dangerous card in the deck when it comes to just pure attacking power and ability. He can force all your opponent's monsters face down, then deal damage. So he's extremely useful in the deck. Then we have a single copy of Superconductor Tyranno, who is able to inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent by attributing 1 monster in your field. The downside is that this monster can't attack that turn, but that's kind of okay. Then we have a single copy of Ultimate Tyranno, who, like Ultimate Conductor, is able to attack all your opponent's monsters. The difference is it can't force any of them face down, and none of your other monsters are going to be able to attack. Rounding out the super useful top, in my opinion, top tier dinos is Black Tyranno, who, if your opponent only controls defense position monsters, this 2600 beater can dive right into their life points and take a giant bite out of it. So, in my opinion, he's extremely useful. And, I mean, all these cards are pretty easy to get out, with Ultimate Conductor just needing to have you banish stuff. And the others can be special summoned out by using this boy, our Soul-Eating Oviraptor. And with him, let's see if I can, there we go, get everything in screen, kind of. When he is normal summoned, you can search and either add a dino to your hand or send it to the grave. And then, once a turn, you can special summon a dino from your graveyard. All you have to do is destroy a different dino on the field to do that. So it's extremely useful in getting out your high-level monsters early. The next monster in this deck, we have 3 copies of Petrodon. A lot of people are only playing 1 or 2 copies of him, and I just haven't found a good replacement yet, or anything I'd want to put in for it. So, it is what it is on that, but Petrodon allows you to special summon a level 4 or higher from your graveyard when this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. So, using him in conjunction with Soul-Eating Oviraptor is extremely useful and allows you to go into your higher level monsters right away. Next we have 3 copies of Baby Sarahsaurus, who is being played at 3, and her effect is when she is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur from your deck. So that's another very useful effect to get into another copy of Oviraptor or into your Petrodon or into any of the other cards in the lower level cards in the deck. Petrodon also makes it so you cannot battle with the monster that is special summoned. But aside from that, it's, in my opinion, a pretty useful monster to have. Next, we have 3 copies of Scrap Raptor. He is a newer addition, and he's relatively useful. You can target 1 monster you control, destroy it. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon 1 Scrap monster in addition to your normal summoner set. That's not really a used effect. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap monster sent to the graveyard, you can add a scrap factory or non-scrapped tuner monster from your deck to your hand. So none of his effects are super useful. He's more in here to go into our Atomic Scrap Dragon, who requires a scrap tuner monster to use. So that's why he's in here, and he's just a nice 1400 attack monster. Next we have everyone's favorite little dino, the Anamandron Arasaurus. If this card is normal or special summon, you can destroy a dino in your hand or face up on the field except itself. You can then add one reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast monster from your deck with the same level, or one evolution pill. And this is a once a turn effect, so it's really useful in getting your evolution pill, your double evolution into your hand, or the big evolution pill that's Iron 2 of into your hand. Next we have Giant Rex. Giant Rex is a 2000 attack 4-star monster who gains attack for every monster that is banished. So he can get rather big quickly depending on how fast you get Ultimate Conductor and how and then if you use Mrs. Effect or not, which he's a hand trap. I only run the one legal copy at the moment, but when he's discarded, he protects your dinos from effects that your opponent may try to throw at him. You can banish any number of dinosaurs from your graveyard, including Miss, to special summon one dino from your deck whose level is equal to the number of monsters banished. But then you have to destroy it at the end of the turn, so he's really useful in making Giant Rex big quick. Next we have our true King of Disaster. He's in here just as another big beater. And another way to banish stuff. We have our single copy of Pinkertops. Gonna have to zoom out, I guess. We have our copy of Overtex Quotilus. I know I butchered the heck out of that name. He can't be normal summoner set. He has to be special summoned by shuffling 5 of your banished dinos back into the deck. So he's a Pat of Adverse in that sense, except with banish and you don't draw. Once per turn when your opponent activates a spell or trap, quick effect, destroy one dino in your hand or face up on the field. If you do, negate the activation. And if you do that, destroy that card. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add an evolution spell to your hand. So he helps getting your evolution pills, along with he is a negate and a small resetter, in the sense that he allows you to resend your banished dinos into your deck. Next, because I couldn't resist, and it's needed for the evolution pills, a single copy of Serpent Night Dragon. It's just an homage to Rex Raptor running 2 dragons in his, at the time, relatively decent dino deck, considering there were very, very few dinos to work with. Another homage is our 2-headed King Rex, just for another 4-star big-ish beater monster. We have a single copy of Galasaurus, which can special summon himself. A copy of Sabersaurus, which is a 19-point beater. And then our level 1 Charger Synchron. So that is it for the main deck monsters. Let's get into the spells. So for our spell cards, we have one copy of Double Evolution. This just lets you get into your big dinos quick. You get to banish a dino and a non-dino monster from your hand and or grave. And then you get to special summon a level 7 or higher dino from your deck. Hand or deck. Ignoring any summoning conditions it may have. We have 3 copies of Lost World. Lost World allows you to special summon out tokens to your opponent's side of the field. It also weakens non-dino monsters. It's relatively useful in the deck. Then we have 3 copies of Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig just lets you add a level 6 or lower dino from your deck to your hand. So it's your searcher of the deck. We have 2 copies of Big Evolution. If when you use this card, it lets you normal summon level 5 or higher dinos without a sacrifice for, I believe it's 3 full turns. It's destroyed during the 3rd end phase, so you get 3 turns of being able to use this effect, which allows you to normal summon out high level dinos, and all it takes is one dinosaur monster on the field. You have to destroy 1 dino on the field to activate it. We have our terraforming to search out our copy of Lost World, and then we have just some more so generic cards. We have a copy of United We Stand to increase the attacking power of our monsters. Rakeki is our generic board wipe. We have our generic back row handler in Feather Duster. We have our Search and Sand in Foolish. Dark Ruler No More for handling opposing effects. And then a copy of Monster Reborn to revive our monsters. So that is it for the main deck. Let us dive into our extra deck. So after Scrap Raptor was released and I got the 3 copies I have, I added in Atomic Scrap Dragon, which is a 3200 attacking monster I've had for a long time. Once per turn, you can select 1 card you control and up to 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard. Destroy your selected card and return the opponent's cards you selected into the deck. When this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, whether it's by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, select 1 non-synchro scrap monster in your graveyard to special summon. So he lets you kind of abuse the fact that a lot of the smaller dinos like baby Sarahsaurus and Petrodon need to be destroyed by a card effect to use their effects. So he lets you do that, and he also can kind of negate if your opponent needs a bunch of stuff banished. It kind of helps to stall them out. Next, we have a copy of Gyro Guardian, just for another more generic synchro. It's got 2800 attack. When this card destroys an opponent's monster at battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field in defense. So he kind of steals your opponent's monsters, which is nice. Next, we have 2 copies of Dolka. Dolka is a rank 4, and he has a pretty nice negate. He needs 2 dinos to be summoned, but during either player's turn, when a monster effect activates, you can detach 1 from this card to negate the activation and destroy it. So he's a negate destroy. We have 2 copies of our Lagia, which same conditions to summon it, but his effect is a little nicer in the sense that when a monster would be normal summoned or special summoned, or a spell or trap card is activated, you can detach both materials from this card to negate the summon or activation and destroy that card. So he is a better negate in that sense, but you only have 1 chance to use its effect instead of 2 with Dolka. We then have our Tornado Dragon, which is another way to get rid of back row, which is kind of nice. He's another rank 4. Then we have number 27, Dreadnought Dreadnoid. He is another rank 4. At the end of the battle phase, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's monster. Oh, destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon from your extra deck one rank 10 or higher machine XYZ. So he lets you get into bigger XYZ monsters. I don't really utilize that effect. I just liked having more options in the extra deck at the time. I didn't really think about the effect, honestly, when I put it in. Next we have our Abyss Dweller, which is another rank 4. Basically, if at least one of the original materials attached was water, all water monsters you control would gain 500 attack. The reason I put him in is once a turn you can detach one material from this card. Your opponent cannot activate effects from the graveyard this turn. So he slows down cards like Torn Scales and Phantom Knights. He makes it so your opponent can't use their effect. Then we have a copy of Zeus for Zeus type shenanigans. He's just a giant beater, which is really, really useful. As for our links, we have Zeroboros, because this deck banishes so much. Zeroboros is just a really, really useful monster for the deck. We have a copy of Borrow's Sword to help kind of balance out the attacking buff, so to speak, because you either have big monsters or small monsters. So he's just useful when all you have are small monsters on the field. You can go into him or into the original Borrowload. Either one is extremely useful in the deck. Borrowload lets you steal a monster. Borrow's Sword lets you attack twice. So either one is extremely useful in the deck. And then we have a copy of Nightmare Griffin, which I believe is banned. I haven't updated this extra deck in a little while, so I'm not 100% sure. But basically, he's just a nightmare that if he was co-linked to another nightmare monster, you'd be able to draw cards. He is likely going to be coming out for a different monster, but at this moment, he's in because he's also a 25 attacking monster. So that is it for this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.